I'm in Maputo, Mozambique. Let's jump in a tuk-tuk and go and have a look around town. Okay, man, let's do it. Mozambique's capital city is a curious mix of European and African influences. Colonial architecture, modern skyscrapers, and rough-edged neighborhoods all compete for attention. Not the greatest air quality here, so I'm just gonna put my scarf up. Over 1 million people of African, European, and Arabic cultures live here. For years, Mozambique fought a violent civil war. Now that the fighting is over, visitors are starting to rediscover this little-seen part of Africa. You don't have to go too far out of Maputo to see Mozambique's biggest tourist draw. Over 1,600 miles of pristine coastline. I've come here to find a true giant of the deep that was once thought to be a real monster. Because not only is this the largest fish in the world, it also happens to be the largest shark, the whale shark. These creatures can reach lengths of 65 feet. They've earned the name whale shark because they filter feed on small fish and zooplankton like some whales do, and can weigh a whopping 42 tons. Now, despite its size, the whale shark is relatively shy. Even with luck on my side, it's still gonna be like looking for a rather large needle in an even bigger haystack. Let's get moving. But before I begin my search, I'm traveling north along the coastal highway to a vast wildlife reserve. Kutada 5 stretches for about 80 miles from the Indian Ocean and along the northern banks of the iconic Sebe River. Few tourists visit Mozambique's interior, which was ravaged by 15 years of war. That civil war, which started in 1977, caused a huge amount of loss of human life. The other significant loss to this part of the world is the large, charismatic mammals that used to live all over this beautiful part of Mozambique. My hope is to find some of the smaller creatures who've managed to survive. There's ants all over the place here. The insects don't know that there was a civil war at any point, so they're just flourishing. Check it out. And that spider is called the golden orb spinning spider, or the more seductive, sultry name that I like to call her, which is Nephila. So I'm gonna try and eke this gorgeous little spider onto this branch. She's always gonna want to stay on that web because that's where she feels safest. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. Nice. Okay. This spider can bite you. It's venomous. The vast majority of spiders are venomous. It wouldn't kill me, but it wouldn't be a very enjoyable part of my day. So you can see, the top leg just felt me there, and she was like, no, not really into humans. So I'm gonna bring my other hand here now. So sooner or later, this spider has to engage with me, but we're gonna do it on her terms. Come on, Nephila. There are spiders out there that can hurt you. This spider included. But what you'll find is that they're shy, not interested in biting you. Ferocious little hunters. She'll grab hold of her prey and inject that venom in. That venom will actually cause the insides of that creature to turn into a soup. So within an hour or so, she's then able to reverse the process and suck the meal up through her fangs. Well, I think we can agree this has been a very patient spider. I'm gonna grab this branch so that I can then get her back into her web. Okay? Let's see. One of my favorite spiders on the planet, the beautiful seductress Nephila. It's a relief to encounter a healthy spider. But even the Nephila's habitat is shrinking. The landscape here has been permanently changed. Over the past 40 years, Mozambique has lost 70% of its wildlife from war, deforestation, and illegal poaching. You can see proof of this abandoned poaching camp inside the Cutada 5 reserve. This is Papagayo, and Papagayo was owned by a slightly nefarious character who was ultimately a poacher. You can see just over here some evidence of the illegal poaching settlement, and these are dotted all around Mozambique, and some of the remains of the animals that were killed here are right here. This is the lower jaw segment of a hippo. Gives you some indication of the size of these incredible creatures. The camp and this nearby tree are like a museum of what's been lost. You can see these indentations here can only be made by a large elephant grazing its tusks and causing these grooves in this baobab tree. Obviously not hurting the tree, as you can see. It just grows with these scars in it. To get this big, you're talking about a tree that's hundreds of years old, possibly even 1,000 years old. The only evidence that now remains that there was once elephants here are these beautiful marks in this absolutely spectacular tree. There's huge potential to reintroduce more large mammals in Cutada 5. Almost 85% is uninhabited, with only 50,000 humans living on the coast or in riverside towns like this one. Just pulled over because I've seen what looks like a school here. Maybe these local kids can show me what kind of animals do live in this area. Go look, come back, and we look.
Oh, oui, c'est possible. Vamos fazer 2,
Clock's
3,
ticking.
4.
On you go. Good luck. Best of luck to you guys. And if you do happen to find a lion, try and overpower it. 6 or 7 of you. Don't let the... They've gone.
If only they could find a lion. Whoa, what do you got? A lizard. Let's have a look. Nice work.
This is a little tiny yellow-plated lizard. Fantastic. All right, let's have a look. Ants with babies on a stick. Get bonus points for babies. Obrigado. Thank you.
What have you got?
Some sort of tree hopper. It's actually pretty good finding because it's very disguised. Let this guy go too now. Hop it. While I wait for the rest of the gang to come back, I'm gonna have a look myself, see if I can rustle up anything. Well, let's go. Spider. Let's see if we can find something. Well, there's definitely something. This is a little tiger beetle. Oh, thinking about biting me. Okay, we're gonna hold this guy like this for a little bit, just because relatively big mandibles will be the main line of defense for a little creature like this, these very imposing-looking jaws. Almost tried to take my little finger off there. This guy's actually lost one of its antennae. Now, the antennae are very, very important. It's a sensory organ, and it's used to try and reach out a little bit in front of its world, keep it safe, and understand what's happening. And it's got these little hooks that a lot of beetles have on the end of their legs that they use to grope through this grassland and sometimes climb trees and burrow under the ground. There are around about 800,000 to 1 million known insect species on this planet at the moment. Beetles make up about 380 to 400,000 different types. It is the most varied creature on this planet, and it's able to live everywhere. And this little guy really wants me to let him go. All right, let's put this guy back, see if the kids have found anything fun. And judging by the excitement, I think they have. these kids have found something. Which they seem very excited about. Something in this hut. What? Where? Oh, it's a big snake. Watch out, it's gonna come over the other side. Not a venomous snake. Definitely a snake that can bite you. See that all coiled up like that? Very difficult to get this snake out. What I need to do is get a little section out.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay, coming out with me, Frank. Check it out. This is the southern African python, sometimes called the rock python, easily the biggest snake in this area of Africa. They can actually reach lengths of around about 15 feet. See this, Frank? I was trying to work out why... It's okay, little snake, I got him. Try to work out why this snake was behaving with a little bit of lethargy. It's got a pretty substantial wound here. What I think probably happened with this snake is it went in to eat some chickens, and the owner of those chickens stabbed it and then got scared. A chicken coop such as this would be easy pickings for a snake. And what I'm hoping to do is just clean it up. Watch out, Frank. This is actually good because what we want with this snake is for it to use a little bit of its energy so that when we work with it, it just relaxes. It's okay, it's all right. It's all right. Look at that big gaping mouth it's got going on right now. It's okay, big snake, just calm down now. Calm down, calm down. He's just tiring himself out now. What I want to do now is try and cover this snake's head just to calm it down a little bit. You can understand why a snake like this is defending itself with so much energy. The last interaction it had with a human was not fantastic. Try and get this sack on top of his head. Okay, all right. Okay. The snake is now secure, so what we're gonna do is just have a look at this wound. Thanks, Frank. So this is just saline, and all that will do is clean the snake's wound. Okay. So what we want to do is try and get a nice jet as deep inside this wound as possible. Okay. Well, grab me that iodine, Frank. Makes things sterile, makes things clean. After a few days, or maybe a week or so, the wound will heal very well indeed. So the next thing we're gonna do is just transport this snake as far away from humans as we can.
So as the kids head back to school, I'm relocating the snake to a grassland far away from the village.
There you go. It's a completely healthy snake at this point, and hopefully it'll stay that way if it avoids humans and their chicken coops for a little bit. The African rock python. Success.
Nightfall doesn't mean the end of my search. It means close encounters of the nocturnal kind.
And as you can see, it's pitch black out there, but that doesn't stop a lot of the animals in Africa from going about their business.
Foraging, hunting. I want to take a look.
In the grass here. Straight ahead. Just walk softly, walk softly. Wow. Amazing little creature. This is a pangolin, one of the strangest and rarest mammals in the world.
And after the Civil War, it might be one of the largest mammals in this reserve.
You see that really fascinating walking gait that it has, where it tends to favor its back legs and pick up its little front legs, making it look really like a worrying old man walking through these grasses here. Because it's so slow, it needs a good defense system, and that is this rolling up into a ball mechanism that it has.
Any predator trying to attack it would get a mouthful of armor-plated scales.
And the scales interlock over on top of each other, almost, when it wraps up, resembling an artichoke. Look at this fantastic shape, first and foremost, that keeps this little creature's vulnerable areas as safe as possible. Look at that adorable little face he's got. And very, very strong little feet. In fact, his feet kind of almost resemble a giant tortoise. I'm gonna put this guy back, because being in this position is probably not his favorite thing. Beautiful little creature. The pangolin doesn't actually have any teeth. It has an extremely long tongue, about half the length of its body, and it's a big fan of ants and termites. It's on the move again. Pangolins can easily live 20 years in the wild.
And that life expectancy is rare, because pangolins are victims of poaching more than any other mammal in the world.
It is the Asian medical industry, more than anything else, that kill these animals predominantly for their scales, which they believe has some sort of medicinal value. But those scales are only the same material that make our fingernails.
So the slaughter of these amazing and bizarre creatures is pointless.
This guy's just about to head off in this direction, and I'm gonna leave him alone and head off in this direction. The beautiful ground pangolin.
That was a long but rewarding day. With so much success on the ground, I'm feeling excited about my mission on the water tomorrow. I managed to get a little shut-eye, and now I'm heading for the coast to track down the whale shark and crash a party that only happens once a year.
So I've just arrived to the fishing town of Vilanculos, and it's extra busy today because this is Vilanculos Day. What that means for the locals is it's the first official day of the fishing season.
To preserve their fish populations, Mozambique has adopted strict fishing guidelines. The livelihood of the entire town depend on it.
But for 3 or 4 months of the year, no fishing at all here, while another part of Mozambique does their fishing. They're acutely aware of overfishing an ocean means that no one gets any fish. If only the rest of the world behaved like that. Trying to create a massive water trap for these fish. So the nets are like this. Here's the shore, and it's gradually just getting pulled further and further in. The net is tightening. Feel the weight behind this net. I think we're getting closer and closer to actually a little bit of fish action, because the rope is getting more and more taut.
Here we go.
It looks like chaos, but it's not. It's a very organized community. On the left-hand side and the right-hand side, people are pulling the nets into the shore, and right in the middle, these kids are having the most fun, just causing a commotion, splashing and screaming to push the fish back out into the deeper part of the water as everyone else pulls the net in. Pretty amazing to see a community come together like this to perform one job to feed everyone. Very cool to see. Looks like I'll be eating fish tonight. You can see how much of a big deal it is for this town. Totally getting into it. I look like a local now.
I'm going to rejoin the festivities a bit later, because right now the conditions are perfect for a dive. The Mozambique coast is one of the best places on Earth to see whale sharks, so I'm hoping to run into one on this very first dive. Already a crazy-looking jellyfish on my right. Swimming in the open ocean is like entering an alien universe. Coral coral reefs are a diverse ecosystem. The variety of fish living within it make an easy meal for larger predators.
These gorgeous little creatures here are called glassfish, aptly named because you can almost see straight through them. As you can see, there's huge numbers here, so the odd few that get picked off really doesn't affect the population because they're breeding and spawning at a very high rate. Let's keep moving. There's a whole variety of different creatures here, and one of the most ubiquitous fish found in any tropical waters are the parrotfish. Their mouth resembles a parrot's beak. Very important animal in these parts of the world because they create a huge amount of sand by picking off the reef, grinding it down into nothing, and then pooping it out. It creates new life, new places for the coral to grow. This iconic creature right in front of me was one of the first animals to really spark my interest in underwater life. It is the moray eel. These guys are actually called honeycomb eels based on the patterns on their body, and they can grow very, very large indeed, upwards of 6 feet. And it sits, as you can see right now, with its mouth gaping, waiting for something small enough to come over to it. It's the reason why I have a nice little division of coral between myself and the moray eel. Because if I were to break through that little barrier there, there's a good chance that it would defend its territory by biting me. Hi, big guy. Oh, you are sexy. Lots of nightmarish stories out there of moray eels attacking divers, biting through their breathing tubes. It's definitely an animal that you don't want to mess with, but absolutely beautiful. Look at the colours of this stunning creature. The iconic moray eel. Looks like a whole bunch of rubbish lying at the bottom of the ocean. This is actually a living creature. This thing right here. There are millions of these little creatures living in the ocean. It's really quite beautiful. Looks like a relative of a sea slug or a sea cucumber. I'll put this little guy back. What a bizarre little creature. Here on the sand, a whip ray. These guys are related to sharks. It's almost, if you can imagine, a kind of flattened shark. Great swimmers, as you can see. Very graceful. Very cool to see. They're a timid creature, but if they are shocked or surprised, they do have an extremely sharp, serrated, barb-like sting. They're not an aggressive animal by any means, not necessarily a dangerous animal, but certainly skittish. So it's a probably good idea that I approached with caution. Lovely creature, not very keen on spending time with humans.
That was a very cool dive, but no sign of the creature I'm looking for.
Didn't see some of the larger animals that I was hoping to see out here, such as manta rays and possibly even whale sharks. There's definitely life down in those waters.
Hopefully I'll have better luck next time. For now, I'm trucking back to Vilanculos to rejoin the party.
Another way that this large fishing community celebrates the start of their season is to have a boat race. And it's filled with a lot of pride for the different crews that are on these particular boats out there.
Using my natural charm and good-ish looks, I have managed to talk my way into one.
This is my very strong, adept-looking crew. Look at them, they all look like they've been carved out of marble. I think we picked the best one here, Frank. It's kicking off. Set. Go, here we go. Yeah, we're powering these guys already. Just pounding into the water. Lots of vibration. Gonna get down a little bit. It's all getting a bit hectic. It really is a stamina race more than anything else. It's not about speed. These guys have got to keep pumping these oars for probably 15 minutes. Currently in 3rd place out of 3. Ah, come on, we're getting them, we're catching them. Definitely making progress. We're catching up with the 2nd place boat for sure. First boat is rounding the halfway point. 1st place has definitely been taken from us. This is really just a fight for pride now. Up the corner now. There we go, we got it. Getting them to row on the right-hand side. Cut this corner. Yeah, we're getting there, we're catching them, we're catching them. We're definitely in 2nd place. Very happy about that. Yes. Just trying not to get my head cut off, to be honest. There's almost like a harpoon above my head. Going at about 30 miles an hour. And my nickname is Dead Weight, I'm not sure why. Ow. 100 more strokes to go in the African Cup. We come in 2nd out of 3. At no point were we ever in the lead. But we did do well. For me, it was just a lot of fun. But I think the best thing for me to do is make a sharp exit before people realise that I might have been one of the reasons why their boat didn't come in first. See you later.
My quest to find the whale shark is back on, and this time I'm employing a higher method of detection.
I've come up with a new plan. See this little craft? Let's introduce ourselves to the pilot.
Yanaman Conradi is a naturalist, diver, and pilot who monitors wildlife in Mozambique.
Yanaman,
Yes.
thanks for meeting me so quickly.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, tell me a little bit about, they're called ultralights, right?
Yes.
How long can you stay in the air with it?
5 hours.
It's brilliant. Yanaman zeroes in on the whale shark from the air, and I'm down by the water ready to jump in. This is definitely the coolest way to locate a whale shark.
That seems very, very dangerous.
And that spotter plane is just half of the equation. Communicating with Yanaman in the air will be a colleague from the ocean. I'm working with celebrated marine and conservation biologist Andrea Marshall. This is going to be good.
Hi.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good. I'm aboard.
All right.
Andrea works with the Marine Megafauna Research Center here in Mozambique. She's done extensive studies on manta rays and whale sharks.
You can imagine a whale shark being the largest fish in the world, quite easy to see from a plane.
You'd be surprised, despite its size, it's actually really hard to find. You know, they're very well camouflaged. So what we do is we send the research boats out and we have aerial support from a microlight. So he goes and does the spotting and then we respond to his GPS points. And hopefully we're gonna be able to find some.
This is a place where lots of different animals, lots of different potentially dangerous animals have been spotted. Large carnivorous sharks such as the great white, the tiger shark, the bull shark have been seen here often.
I'm hoping luck is on my side today. Just ahead, a potentially good sign. Whale sharks could be right underneath us.
What you're seeing right here is a shoal of fish will be isolated by a group of predators, usually sharks or dolphins, sometimes whale sharks, and they'll then circle it from the bottom and try and drive that shoal up to the top. as it gets closer and closer to the top, that large group of fish will get concentrated into a tighter circle, which is known as a bait ball. And then obviously as it gets forced up to the surface, those fish will have nowhere to go, and the predator will then use the fact that the fish have nowhere to go and try and snap them.
As the fish are jumping out of the water to avoid getting eaten, freeloading birds swoop down for a snack. It looks like the bait ball was created by a pod of dolphins, so we move on. I'm bearing northeast into deeper waters with Andrea as Yanneman scans the ocean for any signs of the whale shark from the ultralight.
Been up and down. I've been from San Sebastian Point all the way down to Foot Point. I'm not finding much. The water's really dirty.
I don't know, maybe track down south a little bit more, but just please keep looking for us.
Okay, I'll do my best.
And I've hung up my tank and heavy dive gear because I need more speed.
These are actually flippers that are used more commonly for free divers. And I'm expecting to swim a little bit more on the surface today if I'm lucky enough to see manta rays, stingrays, or whale sharks that usually hang out in the upper kind of 6 foot and up towards the surface. For that, I'm going to need to swim very fast. These are going to come in handy.
But we won't find anything without our eye in the sky. Already, Yanneman catches sight of something in the water up ahead. It's big, but he can't tell what it is.
Okay, the animal's about 200 meters straight in front of us. So we gotta get you guys jumping in the water. Got the engines. Okay, divers in the water.
Whatever it is, it dove deeper. If I'm gonna see it, I have to get in there.
Oh, it's right here,
Down.
Swim.
It's not a whale shark, but I can't believe what I found. This strange-looking life form is a small-eye stingray. One of the few places it's been seen is off the Mozambique coast, and sightings are extremely rare. The small-eye stingray can grow over 7 feet across and weigh up to 700 pounds, making it one of the largest stingrays in the world. Hidden inside the base of its tail is a barb-like stinger that can reach lengths of over 14 inches. When it feeds, particles break away from its mouth, which is why it's surrounded by fish. They're looking for leftovers. As hard as I try, I just can't keep pace with it.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
I think it's a reef.
Nice one!
That was definitely the biggest stingray I've ever seen in my life. The unfortunate thing about seeing a large animal like that is that they have the ability to move at such a high rate that when I came up towards the stingray, it would just put the afterburners on and get away.
The small-eye stingray is the biggest creature I've seen so far in Mozambique, but I'm holding out for an even larger beast.
The big giant manta is just lying at the surface, like, I don't know, sunbathing or playing around, and it'll be really cool.
Okay, let's go in on that giant manta.
Yes, ma'am. Copy that, Roger.
Weighing just under 3,000 pounds, the giant manta is too good to pass up.
Just moving into position now, and hopefully they'll be feeding on the surface.
Like 50 meters ahead.
Okay, all right, got it, thanks. All right, stop. Okay, behind us, we're gonna have to try and go under the boat or around the boat, okay?
Okay.
The giant manta is a separate species discovered by Andrea in 2009 and is the largest manta in the world. Growing up to 30 feet, it's as wide as a house. But it has the grace and beauty of a bird in flight. They're related to sharks, but you wouldn't know from its appearance. The two horns at either side of its head are actually rolled up fins. When flattened, The fins help channel zooplankton into their open mouths that the mantas swallow as it swims. They're easy to spot when they turn over. You'll see a flash of white flesh. Its eyes are on the other side of its head. This one is looking right at me. Majestic creatures. The manta's just as curious about me, but one flap of its enormous pectoral fin, and it disappears into the ocean.
That was absolutely insane. At one point, I was probably less than a foot away from that manta ray. Beautiful. I had to stop because I thought that one of its wings was going to swipe next to me, but it was completely unfazed by me. Well, that was far out, man. One of the biggest creatures I've ever seen in the ocean.
So that was a giant manta, and it's a mature male. So it's quite a sizable animal. What's so great is as you were in the water, you can actually see how they lift up their wings and look behind you because they have a blind spot in the back of their body. So as you're approaching from the rear, it would just lift up its wing and try and check you out.
Yeah.
This is very beautiful action, really nice behavior.
It was a great feeling to have that thing connect with me like that. You know,
Yes.
I was swimming and it felt kind of alien, and then suddenly it just turned and looked right at me.
That's the thing about mantas, is they're highly social, they're very intelligent. Mantas have the largest brain of any shark and ray, and this one's very friendly.
Well, it wasn't the whale shark, which I know is obviously bigger than a manta, but that is the biggest creature I've ever seen in the ocean. It definitely takes your breath away when you first
Yes.
see it.
We want to keep looking, but Yanneman is low on fuel and needs to head back.
So I think that's probably the best bet.
Alright, so I'm gonna go land.
Once he leaves, that's our spotter.
Right.
And it leaves us alone without aerial support.
Leaving Mozambique without the fish I came to see would definitely be disappointing, but it's been a hell of a ride. The whale shark will just have to wait.
Whale shark, whale shark, whale shark.
Sorry, what was that? What do you have?
I've got a whale shark. It's
Whale shark! Whale shark!
And just like that, we're back in the game.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Nice.
Here's hoping it's friendly. Whale shark, dead ahead.
okay, hold it. Get over here so we can get you in.
Just say again. I see you have it, but where?
3 o'clock, so 90 degrees where you are now. It's coming straight to
Okay, got it.
We need to position ourselves perfectly to catch a glimpse of this incredible creature. We also don't want to spook it too much with the engines, which is why we'll try and get in front of it and then kill the engines so it comes towards us.
Okay, I got it. It's coming straight towards us. Straight towards us. Dom, start going to the left.
The whale shark has a formidable presence, but isn't the least bit aggressive. I can see it slow down its tail to avoid hitting me. But before I can spend more than a few seconds with it, it disappears under the boat. Andrea wants to reposition.
We'll redrop. Dom, let's redrop. Don't scare it, let's redrop.
The biggest fish in the world. Takes your breath away, absolutely. Just keep hearing this noise in my head. It's a harmless creature. It's a harmless creature. It's a harmless creature. It's an absolute giant. Never seen a bigger animal in the water. We dropped in just a little bit behind it, and they got in front of us. So now we're gonna get ahead of it, jump back in again. Woohoo! Whale shark instant.
Shark's here, so he wants us to go around.
I need to blast much further ahead of the whale shark so I can get in the water before it's on top of me.
Don't get too close. Go right. Don't get too close to him.
The shark is right here at about 9 o'clock, directly in front of you. So you need to swim this way, okay? Over here.
Go.
Bigger than the boat, but gentle as a lamb. Its grey skin is about 4 inches thick with beautiful spot patterns that are unique to every individual, much like a fingerprint. It's so close. My hand comes to test the distance, and before I know it, I'm touching the shark. It seems not to mind. In fact, it slows down. The whale shark is only seen when it swims through coastal areas to feed, so its mating habits are largely a mystery. It spends most of its time in the deep ocean. A once-in-a-lifetime encounter. And then, as calmly as it arrived, it swims away.
That was insanity. That was one of the most incredible animal encounters I've ever had in my entire life. That spectacular creature was so chilled out and just circling around me that I thought I'd kind of pushed my luck a little bit. Grabbed hold of its dorsal fin, didn't even react at all. Ended up stroking it. Something I will never forget for the rest of my life. That was spectacular. Oh, that was insane. Oh my God.